Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Brooklyn Faith, friends, family, and all our viewing audience. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Moses. This is the first in our series of virtual cooking class. We are truly giving God thanks for his blessings and his mercies and for spirit lives during this turmoil that we are facing now. My name is Marie Williams, and with me is Sister Sandra Wynn. We are from the Brooklyn Faith Health Ministry Department.
Hi,
Before we go
everyone.
Hi, Sandra. Before we go any further, let us just have a brief word of prayer. Most righteous and heavenly Father, we are truly grateful to thee for your many mercies, your grace towards us. Amid all the turmoil and illness we're facing in this country, you will see it fit to spare our lives. We thank you for your blessings this past weekend so far. As we continue to learn how to keep our bodies physically healthy, we are inviting your presence here with us. Guide and direct us in all we say and do, and may your name be glorified. We thank you in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Now, do you believe good nutrition is very important to maintain health?
It sure
Sister
is.
Wynn, do you believe that good nutrition is? It is. The American Heart Association recommend that we eat a wide variety of nutritious foods. And do you know that we can get all our nutrients from fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, peas, beans, and legumes? Making healthy choices when it comes to packages may present a bit of a challenge. And if you aren't able to read labels on these packages, then you will have a problem. Now, Sister Wendy, I heard you said you had a problem when you were grocery shopping. You would like to share with us?
Yes, Marie. I have to reemphasize the importance of reading label, because I remember Marie and I were
We are not seeing you,
working.
Sister Wynn.
You're
We are
not?
not seeing you right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marie and I were in the supermarket one day. I don't remember where exactly. And we're talking about the importance of reading labels. And I remember saying to her that I think we were talking about bread. And I said to her, I don't buy white bread. I only eat whole wheat bread. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, but you have to be careful also. Even that package you have to read, because there are certain ingredients in the bread that you really should stay away from. And I was like, but whole wheat is healthy. And then in the store, she took the bread and she showed me the one that, even though it's whole wheat, this one had fructose in it, and we should stay away from fructose. And I was like, you really, really have to. It's very important that when we go grocery shopping, we have to take the time out to do the reading of the labels, because we might think that we're shopping healthy for healthy food, but we don't know what are the ingredients in them. So I agree with you, Marie. This is very, very important information for all of us.
Yes, it is indeed important information. I have here a package, and I'm not sure if we can see this package. And on this package, this is a package of rolled oats, organic rolled oats, and it has right here nutrition facts. If you have time to grab a package in your kitchen, just grab one and you can maybe go along with me. Look at the top that says nutrition facts. Now, when you look at that package, and it have here list of ingredients. Now, the ingredients is what goes into making that package. So you have to look at the ingredients. And under there, it says serving size. Serving size. On this, it says half a cup is a serving size on this. So if you say eat the whole package and it says half a cup is the serving size and you have the whole of this, you are maybe taking 8 or so times what is the recommended size, serving size. So you're going to increase your calories and everything else. So that is important. Also, as I said, on this package, it says 150 calories per serving. Now, if you eat 8 times that, what you think is going to happen? That's going to lead to all sorts of problems.
And
right?
That is the same thing.
Okay, now next you're going to...
No, that is the same thing with everything else that you eat. That is the same thing with everything that you eat, because you and you don't read the serving size, and you eat how many cookies, you have all that calories because you did not read to say only 2 has 100 calorie in it.
Exactly.
Instead you eat 6 or 7. So
yes,
it's good to know.
And the same thing goes to this says the total fat. Now, you have to be careful when it comes to the fats, because you have the saturated fats, you have the trans fats, and you have the unsaturated fats. And we all know that trans fat, that's the bad fats. The unsaturated fats, that's your good fats. And also the trans fat, you have to look out for that. That is in a lot of packaged food like the chips and so on. We have to stay away from that. The next thing you have to look out for is your cholesterol. That's on your package. Be careful of the total cholesterol. You should try to limit that to less than 300 milligrams per day. Now, the sodium, that's another thing you have to look out for. Try to limit your sodium to less than 1,500 milligrams per day. We don't want too much sodium because that's going to increase our risk for high blood pressure and other problems. What next you think is on this package? Total carbs. You have to look out for your total carbohydrates. So you should pick up the package that have more fiber and less sugar. And then you have your protein and your other stuff like your vitamins and minerals. But you should try to get most of your vitamin and minerals from your fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, I don't want to take up too much of Chef Moses' time. So he has two recipes that he's gonna present to us. Before we go any further, we're gonna introduce our special guest, and Sister Wynn is gonna introduce our special guest.
Our guest today is Chef Moses. That's how I know him. That's the name I know him as, Chef Moses. And I met Chef Moses many years ago at a cooking retreat that we went to at Victory Lake. And he would know how much I admire the way he moves and does his thing in the kitchen. You can see that he loves what he does. He gets pleasure out of that. And I remember years ago, somebody told me that you can tell from the taste of the food how the person, if the person was happy or love what they're doing. And I seriously believe that, because what we did at camp, what he taught us, that food turned out so good because we were all excited and we were happy to learn from him. Chef Moses was taught at the age of 7 to cook by his dear mom, and most of us do. But nothing like learning from mama's kitchen. That helps a lot. His first job was in a high volume restaurant in Manhattan. And his first culinary school was at a New York restaurant school. But he received his bachelor degree in culinary arts at New York Technical College. And he also became a certified executive chef with the ACF, American Culinary Federation. So we are privileged and we are blessed to have him take the time out to teach us how to make, bread. And I think he's making also a lentil loaf. So I am, those who are watching, get together, grab your pen and paper. And if you have the ingredients, he's gonna make a bread now. He's gonna make the bread now. So if you have your if you have your pen and your paper, and you might have some of these ingredients, let me go through it. You have yourself 2 cups of warm water, about 110 degrees, half a cup of brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoon active dry yeast, 1.5 teaspoons salt, 1/4 cup vegetable oil, 5 to 6 cups flour, and you can use all-purpose flour or bread flour. And that's the furthest I'm going, because I'm waiting and I'm anxious to see what this bread is going to turn out to be. And I know it's going to be good. Yum, yum. I give you Chef Moses. Welcome, Chef Moses, to Brooklyn Faith live on Zoom.
Hello? Host has whatever videos would you like to
We're hearing you.
Okay, all right, no problem. Hi guys. Hi guys. I'm Chef Moses, and let me tell you, all what she said was true. I enjoy cooking. Matter of fact, when I'm in the kitchen, I headaches, all kind of problems.
Who's on you?
Okay. Hello, I'm Chef Moses. My daughter said you all couldn't hear me. Okay. So listen, I really enjoy the kitchen. The kitchen is a lot of fun. I mean, when I'm in the kitchen, if I have a headache, it's gone. If I have a food ache, it's gone. Whatever problems I have is gone. and I take a lot of pleasure in doing my food. A lot of pleasure, because I think cooking, when you cook, it should come from your heart, and from your heart, which flows abundance of oxygen, here goes life, and that life transfer from the brains to your hands, and then right onto the food. But first, your kitchen have to be safe. You have to have a safe kitchen, and I really believe in a safe kitchen, because for example, you invite somebody to your house and your kitchen is not safe and those kind of stuff. Imagine that person now will go home with a foodborne illness, and you doesn't want that. So when you're cooking, you always be safe. Make sure that you, when you're starting, you wipe down your table with some bleach, uh, or vinegar, and then after you wipe it down, you after you wipe it down, you just you start your work. But here today we'll make some bread. Bread have been one of the most food that people eat all over the world. People eat more bread than anything else in the world. And if you don't believe me, guys, you could go right back in the age of Jesus' age, and what the little boy had? The little boy had 5 loaves and 2 fishes. That is bread. And if we go back, we go to Abraham. Sarah made a cake. And if we go back way back, we go to Esau and Isaac. And guys, bread have been there for a long, long, long time. And a matter of fact, it is a comfort food. When you eat, you come home first thing you. As I heard Sister Sandra and Sister Williams talking, and they talked about they went in the supermarket and they talk about they buy a loaf of bread. Bread everywhere you go, you'll see bread. But it's I want to let you know that bread is very, very, very nutritious. You could make it nutritious. Now we today we'll be doing I'll start with you with a bread recipe. I think I did send you the ingredients for the bread recipe. But you must also learn that with bread, there is 12 steps of making bread. 12 steps of making bread. So let me go over that 12 steps with you for a little bit. That 12 steps is we have weigh in the ingredients. Now, since bread and baking is there are scientific formulas, you must follow those recipes. Sometimes they have variations. After you learn the recipes, you could add little things, and that's what makes the spice of cooking. That's why cooking is a culinary art. So because then you put in your little piece inside of it, and you make it your recipe. Sometimes you might get a recipe and they follow the recipe, and then 2-3 months later, then you make it your recipe, and then you could build up on that and cause new thing, and then who knows, you could be a culinary professional. You could be a master chef. You know, they do have a program called Master Chef. Actually, I'm trying to get enrolled in that, and eventually one day I'll be a master chef. But it's a lot of work. You have to study food from all over the world. But since I have no time, much time to talk about this. We'll talk about let's continue on the 12 steps of baking. So then we have mixing. So after we weigh the ingredients, we call our mixing class. We put all of those things together, and then we mix it, and then we ferment the yeast. Then I will stop from there. So here we go. The bread recipe. So we have our flour. I already mixed this flour with whole wheat flour. So then if you use only whole wheat, it's tend to come out a little bit hard and stretchy. So you just add a little bit of white flour inside or bread flour inside of it. So then you make it a whole wheat bread. So then that's a little variation in the recipe because it calls for white flour or bread flour. So with that I change it around and I put some whole wheat flour for you. And then you have a mixing bowl. You get a mixing bowl. You pour your flour in. Everything is already weighted because here is 1 quart. I have a quart over here, and then I put it together. And I throw this out there into the sink. I guess somebody will have to come and do that for me. But then it's not a problem for anybody doing that because when you're cooking at home, get ready to wash. A person who wash the dishes and cook at the same time, what happens is you when you wash dishes, well, you get some therapy. It's washing is therapeutic for your hands, and it really helps you concentrate on those kind of stuff. Because you really have to concentrate on one dish. Okay. So then when you finish this, your in your flour. Then we'll add the salt. Okay. So so what I do today, I have oh, there is it. 1 second. I have something else going. 1 second, guys, because I have to make your a lentil loaf. So I have this going on the fire over there. I hope you could. Sorry for the other side. I should have my daughter brings the camera with me here and there. So we have the salt, and what I do is instead of the regular salt, we kind of, since we're on the health note, we'll do everything on the healthy side. Okay, so the salt now I change it to Himalayas, or you could use Celtic salt. The Himalayas have 92 minerals, and the Celtic salt have 94 minerals, 92, 94, or about 94, 98 minerals. I'm going to quote myself for this. But so I'm using Celtic salt, Himalaya salt today. You know, that's the pink salt. I will use this in the bread today. So here it goes. I will take this, put some salt. Now, not too much salt, guys. Just as I said, follow the formula. Now, if you put too much salt, what happens is, I tell you, it's a scientific formula. What happens is that salt is a yeast inhibitor. What if you put too much salt? What will happen? It will not rise. The yeast will not. The bread will not rise. Or the dough will not rise. Okay, because the salt stops the yeast from growing or from multiplying. So just put the right amount. So that's why we said cooking or baking is a scientific formula. So here it goes. The Himalaya salt. So what we'll do, the regular table salt have only about 4 to 6 minerals. And those minerals, what those minerals do, what the very important part of using good salt is you add the minerals to your body. What the minerals really does is the minerals help to open the cells when water to wash the cells. Everything need a bath. And if you don't have enough minerals, you don't have, the cells don't get enough a good bath. So therefore, sometimes this causes other problems in your system. For example, diabetes, all of those kind of stuff is when you don't take proper care of the salt of your cells. So that's always a lot of inflammation to build up. Okay, so here go add the Himalaya salt, and so we'll add some brown sugar to it. You could also add, if you want, you could be creative. You could add some honey. Now, the sugar brings two sides to the recipe. It adds to the recipe flavor, and also it adds the food for the yeast. So the yeast will grow a little bit more, and you'll get more dough volume. All right. So then you add the sugar, and also, or you could add your favorite sweetener. That could be agave, but we do have some people. People say that as I go through this cooking whole, as I go through cooking, the people say that the agave is not good for you. So be careful with what you use. Research what you are using. Find out about it, because let me tell you, your food is what your food do for you. Your food build up cells, and your food bring up vitality to your body. So you want to put good gas in your body. You wouldn't put the wrong gas in your car, so don't put the wrong fuel in your body, because this is the only body that you have. God gave you one body, and if you don't take care of it, you die. You lose it, and you cannot find that body back. If you die, you will not find the body back. So okay, so then we have the sugar, and after the sugar, we will have the yeast, guys. So the yeast, we'll put it in warm water. We'll take some warm water. So there are two types of yeast. They have the dry yeast, and they have the they have the wet yeast or the regular just yeast, wet. In other words, it's wet yeast. You'll find it in most times they come in a 1 pound block. So you could buy that too. It gives the what that yeast does, it gives the bread more aroma. Okay, the dry yeast does give aroma, but the yeast, the regular yeast give a stronger aroma, and you smell the bread. So sometimes when you walk around and there's a bakery, you can literally smell the yeast. The way whatever you smell from the bread is the yeast that's bring that aroma the yeast is giving out. So when your nose is burning you when you see some bread, is the all form of the yeast that's coming out from the bread. Okay. So then we have we add all our dry ingredients together. Here we goes, our dry ingredients. And now we'll add our wet ingredients. So then we'll add the fat. So when you're baking, there is one thing you have to take into consideration. You have flour, you have a flavoring, which is the salt or the sugar. You always add a little bit of sugar, and you'll always add some fat. That's always add some fat, and then the rising agent. Okay, so we'll use oil. We said vegetable oil, but I could since we're on our health and you're taking care of your body, you could also use olive oil, because olive oil is a fat, and the best olive oil to use is extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so then olive oil, you could even use, now we have a lot of stuff on coconut oil. You could use some coconut oil also. It will give the bread a different flavor, but on taste, see if you like the taste, and whatever taste you like, you could use the olive oil. You could use coconut oil, and or you could use the not too healthy for guys. I would recommend you eat oil, corn oil or vegetable oil. I wouldn't recommend that. Ladies, I haven't done much research on y'all yet on this, but for the guys, I won't recommend this too much. So always, guys, when you making your bread, or if your wife making your bread, or wives, when you're making bread for your husband, always add olive oil or coconut oil, okay? Because the vegetable oil and the corn oil is not too good for them. I mean, I cannot give you all the information on that right now because we have a limited amount of time. Okay, so here it goes. We add the fat. Okay, I've measured everything for you already. Okay, and then that's the wet ingredients. And then our next wet ingredients is our yeast. And there is the yeast. We will let me show you the dry yeast, what it look like. And I already start fermenting it already for you. Let me 1 second, guys. I'm in my kitchen over here. A couple of stuff here, there, and okay. And this is our here. This is our dry yeast. I don't have some wet yeast here now. All mine are run out. But most times when I'm baking for my customers and my clients, I try to use. I try to give them the best. I use the wet yeast because I want to give them more flavor in the bread. All right. So today we have the since you are not tasting it. If you're not tasting it today, I would definitely would have gone to the supermarket and well, the baking supermarket. They don't really sell it at a regular supermarket. That we go to the baking supermarket and get them. So that's our dry yeast. The dry yeast is yeast that's already in a cyst, and then we put we bring the temperature up to about 90 something. The wet yeast is 96 degrees, and the dry yeast a little bit higher, 105, something like this. So then it breaks the cyst, and then it starts multiplying. You add a little sugar to it, and then we are good. So here it goes. Our yeast has fermented. Here it goes. You see that it's all fermented right here, all fermented. And then we will add this to our ingredients. Slowly but surely. Remember all the ingredients together. So what you will do is when you're baking, you will always add, you will always have all your missing plus together. Our missing plus means all your ingredients. The reason why you want to do this, we have to be organized. And when you have all of those together, you line them up. And when you line them up, you know what you have put there. This, I have put the salt, I have put the sugar, I have put the fat, I have put the yeast, and other things. In some of the recipes, we could add wheat germ to it. As I tell you, could be more creative. You'll add some, you could even add, if you're doing, you could add some raisins, you could add some currants, and whatever you say, even some onions you could add to it. As you get better and better and better, you start to be more creative and those kind of stuff. And then you'll notice that your creative, your culinary art skills start coming, waking up, and you say, and if it's for your wife, guys, if it's for your wife, then you say, wow, honey, I make some nice bread. Let me tell you, your wife will be very, very, very happy, because lots of time I bake for my wife, and oh my goodness sake, and she's so happy. I bake for my children and they're so happy. I bake for people and they're so happy, because I try my best to give them the best. You always give everybody your best. The Bible says, do everything in the name or an honor and glory. Whatever your hand findeth to do all in the honor of God. All right, so I believe this. Okay, so here we go. We have our yes, it's in the flour mixture, and there I will knead it together. And another thing about kneading is that when you knead it, there is you could use a machine or you could use your hands. And one thing about using your hands, it also is it's therapeutic. And you could also feel how the bread will look, because you want your bread not to be too dry, but you want your bread to be almost elastic. And when you knead the bread, what you're doing, you put in the gluten, you're bringing out the gluten together, okay? And you knead it. Let me show you over here. Here I have a cutting board over here, and you knead it. You put it together, and you use the front of your hands and then to the back of your hands. Front, back. You fold it. So like when you're doing a puff pastry, you give it all those folds, then you come in. You see, notice that the bread start molding up together. You have a little bit of cracks here. You doesn't want the cracks. Also, if you mix the bread, what it will do, it will, when you bake it, you'll find air pockets in it. So that's a bread that's undermixed. A bread that's overmixed, you'll find a bigger air pocket. So be careful when you're mixing. Just mix your bread just right. And you'll say, chef, what is just right? It will take some time to just find out. You'll see it. I'll show you what is just right. So we'll just mix it and mix. So we have the lentil stuff going there. I have the lentils going for y'all. And they're cooking down. So all of those things are all set for y'all. And there we go. So then we have the bread mix. So you'll see a nice gloss on it. That now you know that your bread is all mixed. Wow, this is very good. Look at this. And this will grow or approximately twice the size. You put it in the bowl. There it goes. You could cover it. Some people will cover it with a little warm towel, or you put it in a dry, warm place, and that is called proofing. You proof the bread, and when you after it, so the proofing the bread will become a little bit higher. So some people say, what is the proofing doughs? You ever had dough? Why do they call dollars dough? Because the dollars could multiply it. The dollars could buy something more for you. So what the dough does, the dough multiply and become bigger and bigger. And the Bible talk about leaven, and the leaven grew and full of the whole room. So the Bible talk about leaven. So what the bread do, you proof it. In some commercial kitchen, they have a proofing box. The proofing box is warmth and water. So what does water and the yeast have a little bit of moisture, because that's how bacteria grow. Bacteria grow with warmth and water. The more water you have in ingredients, the more bacteria will grow. Okay, so it has to be at a certain temperature, and it will grow even more and more. So therefore, now we have the dough, and this is what it is. It have grown, and the next step, we will take the dough. And then We will I already did that for you. We'll punch it. Punching means it go down and then it rise up again. So give the bread more body. So that's what you want from the bread. You want body. So now I have punched it, already punched it already. So now I will do the benching. That's another step of the ingredients of the baking process. We punch, then we bench, and now we will shape the bread. Okay, so we'll take a knife or whatever it is you could want, and you take, and then you could do it in a roll. You form the roll, and here I have an aluminum pan and parchment paper. And also, we live in an age of a healthy age, so we could also. I recommend people that try not to use. But since we have parchment paper, that is fine. Try not to use too much aluminum for either for cooking or for baking, but more or less for cooking. I will see people put the aluminum pan directly on the oven. Don't ever do this. Don't ever put your aluminum pan directly on the oven, on the stove for direct heat. Aluminum pan is to take food from heat and just put it there just to hold it. It's not a cooking utensil. Remember that aluminum pans are not a cooking utensil, so don't use it. What it does, it releases all the aluminum into your food, and then your body have too much aluminum, and aluminum is linked to Alzheimer's disease and other forms of disease. So I don't want you to do that. Well, you could always use stainless steel. There's a lot of stainless steels out there. You could use that and for your baking. And guys, remember the word aluminum pan. They are disposable, especially those they are called disposable pans. Don't you when you use them once, don't wash them and put them aside. Wash them. Don't wash them and put them aside. Throw them out. They are disposable. What they do, they after you use them once, they have a reaction to them. If you put it on the fire, sometimes we use it for coal. Okay, I understand you can wash it back, but if you use it for fire, toss the usable stuff inside the trash. That it will do you more good in the trash than if you reuse it. Don't try to save a little bit of money and then in the long run you affect your health. Okay, so then just let me, as I said that, I just want you guys to be careful. Money cannot never ever buy your health. Try to use whatever you use wisely. If you have to buy the organic, or if you have to buy the food that's a little bit, just a little bit more expensive, you could always do that. But your health, without no health, you cannot even praise the Lord. Without no health, you cannot do nothing. Okay, so here we go. So we have our bread working for us, and I already did some rolls. You could also need. See this is another one. You could also knead it. Here it goes. We knead it, and then we could make a nice loaf out of it. You could put the loaf any shape, any form. You could do it. So here we have a loaf. This will double in size. This will double in size, and we have it over. We set it over here, and we put it in the proofing box or on the proofing side, and there we have some of our bread already. You turn your oven to 350. Always preheat your oven. Thank you. Always preheat your oven as much as possible. So therefore, you won't have to start from scratch, because sometimes when you start from scratch, then the bread overproof, and you doesn't want your bread to overproof. If it overproof, what it does, it will cause some alcohol inside of it, and it will taste a little alcoholic. So that's why sometimes you have a certain breads are made with overproof dough. They add some overproof dough to the real dough, and you'll feel that alcoholic taste of the bread. Okay, so that's we have a nice bread there. You have a nice bread recipe, and we will just stretch for a little bit, and then we will, as this bread is proofing, I'll show you what it looked like. in a little in 5 more minutes. But let us go to our lentils loaf. Okay, nowadays days during the pandemic, they said that a lot of people meat was in a shortage, and a lot of people went to buy meat from natural food, from natural meats. Sorry, the vegetarian meats and all of those kind of stuff. They start buying those meats, but you could make your own meat at home. What is meat? What meat have a lot of proteins and all of things. But what you really looking for the meat, according to the American Association, Heart Association, what you're really looking for the meat is the proteins and sometimes the vitamin B12. That's what are the stuff you're looking out of the meat. But one is for the protein. That's why they said if you look at the table for serving, they'll call the meat the protein. But they have some of the stuff God gave, the natural stuff God gave was proteins. For example, lentils have 21 grams of protein. Wow. 19 to 21 grams of protein according to what lentils you use. They have different colors of lentils. So then according to which one you use, have 19 to 21 grams. That's a lot of proteins. So in the recipe I'll be showing you today, we'll use some lentils, and I took out the lentils already, and we'll use some split peas, which is very good. Have you ever tasted when you're making dal and you add some nice cumin to it? And cumin is very good, especially
Chef
black
Moses,
cumin. Yes.
Chef Moses, before you go any further, let me just read the recipe for the next dish you'll be doing, the lentil loaf. Let me just read it for the viewing audience. We need 1 pound lentil. If you have your pens and paper, could you take it down? 1 pound lentil, 1 cup yellow split peas, 1 cup oatmeal, 1 cup breadcrumbs, 1 diced carrot, 1 carrot that is diced, 1 diced bell pepper, 5 diced, half a cup diced onion, 2 stalk diced celery, sea salt to taste, and optional, you can put a half a cup of tofu. And Chef Moses, just one thing, there's a glare we are getting that's on, I'm not sure where it's coming from. Thank you.
Much better now? Much better?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Better, yeah.
I can't wait to taste that bread, Sister Wind. How about you?
I know. I know.
Okay.
I can't wait either.
Chef Moses, I'm turning it over to you now.
Okay, thank you. Welcome again to my kitchen. One of the favorite places of my house, or my house. My wife said this is her kitchen. Actually, I have 2 kitchens. I have a commercial kitchen, but I have a bigger kitchen outside, which have more bigger equipments and those kind of stuff. It's not really ordinary kitchen out there. It's just so inside here we have a smaller kitchen where I could think my. She said, "Oh, this is my." She said, "This is her kitchen." So what can I say? I agree with her. I built it. I actually built this kitchen from scratch. Some I do on the side is a little bit of construction. When I was doing culinary, I went to New York Tech. What they teach us to do, because we're doing hospitality management, they teach us to build, to fix a fridge and those kind of stuff. And I like to do those things on the side. As a little boy, my father was a carpenter, so I learned I learned carpentry with him. So but my mother had 11 of us, so I used to help her to cook. Okay, so then I did that in the time. So while I was helping my father, doing farming and carpentry, I was also helping my mother to cook. And but one of the things I really like making me a chef, it was I used to enjoy the time in the kitchen. So, but because I used to get some extra food when I helped my mother in the kitchen, and who's little child that don't want some extra food? You know, you leave for eating when you're a youngster because you have so much energy, and your energy just keep burning, and you have to replace it. So that's how I'm here learning cooking, and I could do the carpentry and those kind of stuff. This kitchen was actually built by my own hands. Anyway, so let's go on. So here we goes. We have a bell pepper. We will chop the missing plus to we put them together. I already have the lentils cooking. I put the lentils and the split peas together. The lentils take a shorter time to cook. The split peas take a longer time to cook. So what you could do when you're cooking, guys, you could also put them to soak. And what it does, it actually bring more nutrients. When you soak it, you get more nutrients than taking the peas or whatever it is and cooking it from raw. So because I kind of shock it. And one thing you want to do is anytime you're cooking any kind of beans, do not add salt to it. First, if you add salt to it, it will take a longer time to cook. It extend the cooking period on the beans. So first, you always cook your beans with no salt. But what you have to do first is also soak your beans. And if you're a person that have a lot of gas, what you could do is you could soak the beans, and in the morning time you drain the water, which get rid of some of the gas. Beans like lima beans and chickpeas or garbanzo beans, those are gassy. You take the gas out of them, discard the water, and you get rid of some of the gas. So those who are very have problem with gas, you could do that. So it will kind of help you a lot. So then we have the one of the stuff I want you to do is I want to also teach you knife handling skills, but this is another session, because if you could handle your knife good in the kitchen, then you could do marvelous things. Your knife obeys you. Whatever you tell your knife to do, your knife will do. So if you see I'm cutting and you see my hands there, the knife will tell my hands. This hands will tell the knife, hey, my friend is over here. Come out, and my knife will just keep coming. So I could just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And so here we go, sir. So then we dice in the bell peppers. And then with the bell peppers, we dice it. We put all of them together, and we could also saute them. So we'll just put all of those together. Okay, here we have our diced peppers, and I have some green peppers also. I have the green peppers right now, sorry, and I also have the red peppers. Now, when you're using a knife, don't ever take the knife, the sharp of the knife, and scrape it on the board. Also use the back of the knife and pull it on the other side, because if you use the cutting edge of the knife, it will kind of put burrs in the knife and you cause your knife to be less sharp. So then we have some red bell peppers. One of the nice stuff you could do, you take out those membranes. If you're doing a salad and those kind of stuff, and you want to add some color to it, you put some nice membrane, take out the membrane, you discard it, and then you could just use it and cut it away. So anytime you're doing cutting, you just do this stuff, and then you continue. It will be easier to cut if you take out the membrane and just lay it down. So here we go. This is the bell pepper. So we have the different colors. And when you're cooking, anytime you're cooking, guys, always remember to add colors to your food. All of the colors represent something in your body that is nutritious. So I want to go with that today. That was a different session. So so we will talk about another time what do the colors means. And we have this. So then we have the carrots over here. I'm peeling the carrots, and then we take the carrots is a little bit tricky. You take the carrots, and then you cut. And since carrots is rolled, they roll around. You have to be very careful. So what you do, you cut a little edge of it, and you let it sit down. So you notice that you see the carrot now sitting down. It sit down, and then we we cut it into different we cut it up, and then we also what we could do, we could dice it. We could large dice, small dice, and this is one of the cutting skills that you will learn at culinary school. And even when you will go to be a master chef, you will have to learn all the different cuts. So there's dice, there's brunet, there's brunette, there's julienne, and there is large dice, there's French fries, and those kinds of stuff. And I know all of you are familiar with what the French fries cut. The French fries cut is a little bit bigger. So then what we'll do today, we'll do a regular dice. If I go smaller than a regular dice, then that will be a brunet. And brunets are used for, like, you have a soup, you have something, and then all the guys who are single guys or girls who are single, you do a nice brunet, you do a nice soup, you take the soup and you take maybe a scallion or nice carrot or maybe or celery, whatever you like, and you cut it very, very small, and you sprinkle and you garnish the soup with those brunet. Guess what? And if it's a guy or whatever it is, and guys, let me tell you something, man. If you want to steal your girl's heart, let me tell you something. Learn how to cook, and you will mesmerize her. Anyway, so that's a different story for a different day. When we're doing family, when we're doing how to, for guys, how single guys, how to get a girl, and how to extend your relationship, we will do a cooking class. Imagine cooking have to do with relationship. It's amazing. It's amazing how cooking have to do with all of those things. Cooking how to romance your wife. Cooking because you could make a nice Valentine's dinner, or you could tell her you love her by maybe making a nice fruit platter for her, and you bring it. And if you're very creative, you'll take some clear gelatin and you write her name and you put the clear gelatin on it and on the plate. And then when you put the clear gelatin on the plate, but before you put the clear gelatin, you write her name in maybe in a fruit something or a vegetable. You write her name underneath and you tell her you love her, and then you put the clear gelatin on it. And when she finishes her salad, she will as she finishes, she'll see a nice message. I love you, sweetheart. It's amazing. Cooking could do the greatest things in the world. Let me back into our lentils class, guys. Sorry for that. Sometimes I get carried away with the amazing stuff of culinary art. All right. So they said a way through a woman's heart is through a stomach. It also says a way through a guy's heart is through a stomach. So ladies, be careful. So here we have our carrots. We dice them together, and then we have we will put them to our stuff, and then we have an onion over here. We have an onion. You could take the onion. Sorry about that. That's inside here. We have just peeling up the onion for you. We have the onion. Onion don't make you cry when you get accustomed to it. And if you cry for onions, guess what? It's tears of joy, and it's good because it really waters the eye and brings out the eye. Not all onions. As you continue getting accustomed to the onions, they have a lot of different formulas for not making it cry. Some of them really don't really work. But what really works is as you get accustomed to it, you will just see that your eyes wouldn't burn you anymore. So, but onions have approximately 7 to 8 layers, and every layer means something. When God made onions, He made them in layers. And it's amazing why God made those onions in layers. But let me tell you, one of these days when we're talking about cooking and cooking as healing medicine, we'll talk about those layers. All right? When we're talking cooking for your medicine or food for your medicine, we'll talk about the 7 layers of onions. But onions do have those layers, and all of these layers represent something. Okay? Sorry about that. 1 second. 1 second. Jane, bring a charger down for me, please. My phone is dying. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so then we have the onions. We cut the onions, dice again. Always put the onion to sit down. Okay, I think I'm running out of my time, guys, already over here. Okay, so then we have our onions. We have all our, okay, we call them our, we call them those, all of those together. Well, okay, we put them together, and now we have our, we have our lentils over here. We have a mixing bowl. And we take the lentils. Here it goes, the lentils and the peas. We put them inside the bowl. One second now. Okay. Lentils loaf. Okay, your bread is coming on very good. 1 second, guys. Let me just get this going for y'all. Y'all could see me better?
No, you're upside down.
I'm upside down. Okay.
Turn it,
Moses,
turn it again.
Better?
yeah, don't worry about the time. Just finish up what you're doing. Don't worry.
Don't rush yourself. Don't rush.
Let me fix up this phone. Sorry about that. Let me fix up the phone. It was just on the charge. I thought I'd take the time and charge it. Okay, got it. I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
We give you extra time.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay, so then we have our lentils, and then we have we go then with the lentils, we have we have the breadcrumbs. We'll take all our breadcrumbs. Here is the breadcrumbs. We'll put it inside the lentils. Okay, all of them, everything have been measured for you already. So just to save some time. And then we have our oats. Okay, it's already measured over here. You put them down together. What you could do is the oats, you could, if you want, you could add a little bit of warm water into it to start the process. But you put it together. Since the lentils already it has some extra liquid in it, we'll put them together. And the sorry about that. The peppers and the onions, we could take them and we could saute them. We could saute them 1 second. Let me get. We'll saute them. Okay, on our fire over here, we'll use a little bit of olive oil. And if anytime you're sauteing something, guys, I want you to know that you could also use grape nut seed, because grape nut seed oil is high it's very high for fire. It takes a longer time to burn on fire. So you could use that oil over the olive oil or the extra virgin oil. Okay, because anytime you start using heat on any food, it will expand the oil, and as it expands the oil, the body doesn't recognize it anymore. And when the body don't recognize it, ladies, it put it on your hips. Guys, it put it on your stomach. Okay, anytime the body doesn't really recognize any of those fats, it take it, and it for ladies, your hips, and guys, for your stomach. So make sure that those stuff the stuff you're using, you learn about it. Let me tell you, my people die because of the lack of knowledge. Okay, guys, let me show you something. Here it goes. Those rolls have double in size already, and they are ready to put in the oven. They are proof, and they are ready to put in the oven. So we put them inside the oven. The oven's already going. We already preheat the oven. And saute means, what the word saute means, very high. The heat is a little bit hot. And as you put the ingredients inside the pan, the ingredients will start jumping. In other words, you're sealing the juices inside of those ingredients. Okay, inside of those vegetables, in other words. So you seal them, and as you seal them, it stays inside. And then when you put them in the lentils or whatever food you put in the soup, your mirepoix, you put those mirepoix in your food. So the onions, the peppers, and the carrots, those are mirepoix. Okay, that's a French word we are using here, mirepoix. A mirepoix only means a percentage of onions, a percentage of carrots, and a percentage of celery or peppers and those kind of stuff. So everything have the percentage, and that's where the word mirepoix come from. Okay. Okay, so then our mirepoix is all ready. The fire is already. Then the difference between a house kitchen and a commercial kitchen. So when I cook in my kitchen, I could cook faster in a sense because I have more BTU. Your ovens over there, and those aroma. Look at those aroma. Here it goes. Those smell so beautiful because we have all those stuff together. So then the BTU of your kitchen, of your stove, it will take you a longer time to cook certain food. But you notice that if you put food on the fire on your oven inside the house, it will take a lot of time to boil. If I put it on those commercial kitchens, if you take the food water to boil, it will take a very short time to cook because they have more heat. Those ovens are built up with very, very high BTU. So that's just a FYI for your information. Okay, so then now we have our stuff coming together. We have all of those. There it goes, and then we'll pour it inside our loaf. Very good. And then we will constantly mix. We'll mix them together, incorporate everything together. And I gave you an option of what you could put. If you want to get a little more creative, you want to go Caribbean, you could put a little bit of coconut inside of it, and you'll turn it give it a Caribbean flavor and those kind of stuff. And then you could add some some cornstarch or some potato starch to hold it some more. Sometimes I do add some gluten flour to bring out some more proteins inside of this to give it much more proteins. So then we have those things. After ingredients together, you add a little bit of salt. And as I said, you add some Himalaya salt, or you could add some chickenish inside here with it. I don't know if I had that I didn't give you the amount to add. Add to taste some chickenish over here. You could add that. And try not to, guys, under no circumstances, try not to use any MSG for guys. It links to a lot of other illnesses and those kind of stuff. So try not to use those things too much. Try to stay away from that. The same way trans fat. Another note for trans fat is when you're doing that, you could even add some bitters to it. So okay. So that's getting optional, but then let me not go through all of those. And here we go. We have the colors together. We have all those colors. It's a kind of dark. It looks like a meat. You could roll it up. You could roll it into balls. You can make some lentils balls. You can make some lentils loaf. You can make some lentils pate if you want. And it's awesome. And wow, delicious, very good. And imagine, you don't have to eat those animals' product. You can make this, and you can make it some great flavors. And here it goes. And total meat have nothing on you. and we have those things. We'll form them. No, we'll form them together. Where's the small pan? I have sorry about that. I have a number of pans I use for um, stainless steel pans. But today I just we had and my son had a birthday party, so we kind of bring all of the stuff down for him. And also, so you coat it a little bit of olive oil over here. We coat it a little bit of olive oil, and then we put it inside, and then okay, guys, and you will see those nice colors. And remember, we talk about the colors. It's a different. We'll do a different class on that another time. What colors means and what does it do for you. So when we do the class on cooking, it was in cooking for your health. We could always do this. We could do the colors and what the colors means for you. What it does and what it does. And let me tell you, colors is responsible for all the different illnesses that you have, and it kind of heal the different illnesses. So God is this amazing God. God is a rainbow of different colors, and you could see that in the plants we did. So I put it down into the sink. I add some water to make it soften it up a little bit, so then when I wash it, it'll be good and nice. Okay, so we have our loaf over here. There it goes. And we could add a little bit of olive oil on top of it, guys, to make it moist. And if you want some extra, you could add the breadcrumbs on top of it, or you could add some cornflakes crumbs on top of it. Okay, and you can make your own breadcrumbs at home, so you know what's inside of it. And you could add some basil and some other stuff on it. Some basil is very good, rosemary is very good, and all of those in. One day when we're doing a class, we talk about herbs. Oh, there's a lot to get into it. Let me tell you, I'm just trying to bring 4 years of cooking, actually, cooking culinary school into to a couple of hours of this lecture to here today, or this cooking class to you. But I cannot do all of them. But so all of them have different segments. All right. So I've been cooking for 7 years old, and I'm still learning. Actually, matter of fact, I'm learning. One day I'm learning to be a master chef, and it's very, very, very intense. It's 7 days of competition and those kind of stuff. So here it goes. We have this, and it's very, very intense. So we have our lentils loaf, and we'll put it in the oven. We have an oven already steaming and going. Okay. Okay, guys. So here we have all our stuff. We have the lentils loaf. It was a very pleasure to work with you today. So let me show you the final product of the bread. Let me just wash my hands over here. Always wash your hands, guys. For every application you do, just wash. And as we like COVID season, we always want to know about washing of hands and those kind of stuff. So, but washing of hands is very, very, very good. They said that guys don't wash their hands as much as the ladies, and that's why much of the guys have more problem with the disease. So, guys, who learn to wash your hands and be very, very neat in this kitchen. The kitchen is a lab, and you doesn't want nothing to affect the lab. Okay, nothing affect your lab or contaminate your lab. Okay, so the bowl have to be clean after every stuff you do. If you're doing the food that you're eating right away, you always wash your bowl after. If you have used it before, always wash the bowl, because you don't want cross contamination inside your kitchen. Okay, so another thing, let me get the bread. I think one of the bread is already ready. Let me get it. You see the bread that we just did a while ago. Here it goes. It's double already in size. And if any one of you want it, we have it. I have it right here, all ready for y'all, and it's ready to go. Okay. And now for the final product, let me get it together for you.
Chef Moses, while you're getting the bread, I will read the ingredients again. Someone wanted the ingredients. I will just read it again when they're preparing that. For the bread, it's 2 cups warm water, and that should be 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Half a cup of brown sugar, 1.5 cup of active dry yeast, 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 5 to 6 cups of flour. You can use bread flour, all purpose or bread flour. And for the lentil loaf, I read that again, 1 pound lentil, 1 cup yellow split peas, 1 cup oatmeal, 1 cup breadcrumbs, 1 diced carrot, 1 diced red pepper, half a diced onion, and 2 stalks of diced celery, and sea salt to taste. And then you have optional, 1/2 cup of tofu. Okay, Chef Moses, I'm just repeating the recipe.
Are you open
You
to
can
questions to Chef Moses?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I just want to tell the viewers also that they can put their questions on the chat, so that we could ask. Okay, so if they have questions, you feel free to put it on the chat.
No problem. Okay.
Chef
Thank you,
Moses,
Sam.
one question I'd like to ask. Most of the time, my lentil, when I do it, it comes out soft. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Am I missing something?
Okay, so what is now when since we are all vegan, now if you are vegetarian and you put up eggs, then I could tell you put eggs. But since you are vegan, what I will suggest to you is put some cream of rice. You take some cream of rice, you add some cream of rice to it. The cream of rice will bind it together. We'll hold it together.
Okay.
Okay. So then that's on. Also, also what you could do is sometimes you mix it a little bit too wet, so then it will for the and all the moisture haven't gone away. So you want to mix it a little bit dry, okay? Or you could add some potato starch to it, or cornstarch. I always suggest potato starch. Potato starch have a strong binding power, but most of all, you could add the cream of rice. It will definitely help you. To take the form of any flavor. It will not add to your. It wouldn't add to flavor, but it will just help you bind it together, and you'll have a perfect lentil soup. Okay. Good.
Okay.
No problem. All right. So guys, thank you. So guys, with the bread, let me just give you a little bit of trick on the bread while I'm taking out the bread from the oven. A lot of the thing is about the bread is after you finish the bread, you put it to cool. Now, very important. Let that bread cool down. If we're studying, if we're going to Ellen White, she said, eat the bread the next day. That's what she said. Let the bread cool so you could eat it the next day. And I know some of you love the nice aroma of hot bread, and you cannot resist. And you want some nice butter, some nice tofu butter, or something inside of this you want. Also, I mean, you want that bread. Oh my goodness sake, it's good. So, but restrain yourself and let the bread cool, and then after it cool on a wire rack, or just put it there, let it cool down. You could take the bread, and then you after it cool, you wrap it up. And let me tell you a trick about bread. If you take that cool bread and you wrap it up properly and you put it in the freezer, listen to me. You put that bread in the freezer and you leave that bread there for the next week. and then you want some bread because it's Sabbath and you want to eat some, not to eat some nice homemade bread. You take that bread from the freezer, let it defrost, and then you could warm it up again in the oven just a little bit. And guess what? It will come out as fresh as the day it come out from the oven. Very important. And it's amazing. Sometimes you don't have all the time to cook. So you could take some time, you could save yourself some time when you're making bread, make some extra, wrap it up in plastic or a Ziploc bag so we don't get too much air. And then you put it in the freezer and then you take it out whenever you need it. And you have fresh bread. It come out as fresh as the day you bake it. So important. So that's a little trick you learn where you don't have to come every day, come and cook and make bread maybe once a week or twice a week of those kind of stuff. Okay. So that's number one. So then we have the bread already baked and ready. It's a little bit hot. Sorry, it's a little bit hot over here. And where we have a roll all set up, and I could cut it for you. And yummy, very, very, very good. So we have our bread. I want you to go home. I'm sorry, I want you to go home. I want you when we finish, I want you to take some time and knead your dough. As I said, it will be therapeutic, and also you can put whatever you want into your bread. The bread outside there are not the best of bread. Just a couple of months ago, they said they what's the name? What that's company name that made a lot of bread. Not Domino. Subway said they will not put certain ingredients in the bread because it was unhealthy. It is noted that some people make the bread lighter. They put duck feathers and they put all kinds of different ingredients in the bread. But when you make the bread at home, you know what goes inside your bread. You know what you have in the bread. You know, for the other ingredients, for the other additives and those kind of stuff. And remember, there are 9,000 additives we have out there, and they make things fresh. Those companies are looking for the ways to make money, but not our health. But when you make your own, yes, it will take some time in the kitchen, but you make it with love, and you'll save your life and save yourself some hospital time and some hospital bills and some time from church and sometimes with the family. Okay, so then that's the bread and the lentils loaf already done. We have our lentils loaf over here. Okay, so we will cut it up, and it's all baked up and already said let it rest a little bit. When it comes out of the oven, it's a little unsettled, so you don't want to cut it exactly when it comes out from the oven. You just let it rest a little bit, then to stay firm, it will get back. It will get a little bit hard on the hard side, and you could be able to handle it a little bit better. If you want to handle it while it's hot, you can always use a spatula to handle it. But as long as you let it warm and cool down, and as it cools, it will stay firm. It will hold together, and then you could rewarm it again, and it will not move around or not get too soft. And then you could hold it as a meat. You could do whatever it is. If you're doing a burger, it will you could put it directly on the plate. All right. So this is what we have. I want to thank all guys today for this lovely cooking class that we that Sister Williams and Sister Sandra put together, and I'm sure that we have others. Remember, we have cooking for your health. Remember, we have herbs and spices. How can you use them to improve your health? And then food. Also, we have another cooking class, food that heals, and how to cook those foods and how to prepare those foods. All right. And I'm sure we have anybody have any questions. We are all open and free, and I'm ready to answer those questions. Thank you.
Chef Moses, I have a question. You mentioned about the yeast, the dry yeast and the wet yeast.
Yes.
And besides the aroma, is any one better than the other?
The dry yeast is always it's always a little bit better because it's in the yeast is in its natural stage. The other one we had it had to be processed to bring that in. But the dry yeast is the The way it is in his natural stage.
And thank you. And also, you mentioned olive oil and coconut oil, but what about the vegetable and the canola? Are those supposed to be used also? Grape oil?
One thing I will recommend
We
if
can use.
if any guys we
Mhm.
have here, or any guys try not to use vegetable oil, canola oil, because it actually it helps with it affects your testosterone level. So then you try not to use too much of them. And those oil
Oh,
are processed oil. They have been heated up first to bring them to those stages. They're not cold pressed. Anytime any
oh,
oil
okay.
you want to use cold pressed oil.
Okay. And one last question, and you mentioned it, but I didn't hear clearly because I remember growing up as a little girl. On Friday evening, my mother would buy the bread from the bakery and it's nice and warm. And we come home and we eat it with the butter or the cheese. And now I'm hearing that when the bread comes out of the oven, we should not touch it till the next day.
Right.
So I don't know if you did mention why we shouldn't. I know, you mentioned something about Sister White, but I didn't hear it clearly.
Oh, yes, I did. I did not. Well, actually, I did mention the process. I just mentioned what Sister White said. I think it's Ministry of Healing. I'm not too sure which of the volumes of books that she mentioned it in. Sorry about that. I'm not going to get it for you. But she mentioned that what it does is that the bread is not fully set with the yeast and all those kind of stuff. So then you shouldn't eat
Okay.
it. So that's one of the why you shouldn't eat the hot bread. So but I will do a little when I if I want to do foods and healing, I could also bring those things up. So I didn't want to go into all of those for you because of the interest of time.
Okay. All right. Um, we just want to thank you on behalf of the Health Ministry Department and Sister Williams. We thank you, Chef Moses. We had a few comments on the chat here. Some of them saying you need your own television show, cooking show, and some, just complimenting you on what a great cook you are. So I just want to thank you for spending the time with us. We had a wonderful weekend this weekend. We had many presenters. We had Dr. Boyce, Errol Boyce, and we had Barbara O'Neill, who gave us some very, very healthy tips. And I just want to thank God that we have such a strong health ministry department where we can, learn so much. Uh, Chef Moses, thank you for all this information. And we're gonna go out and implement these. We also thank those who participate in the program. We had Sister Ashby, we had Sister Elder Seeley, and the singers, Dr. Boyce's daughter and his wife, Dr. Bryce, sorry, I'm so sorry, Dr. Bryce, daughter and his wife, Rihanna Davis, his daughter, and Sister Bryce, his wife, and also Melissa Foster, who sang for us. We just want to take the time out to thank them, and George Alexander also, who hosted the evening program. Thank them for participating. And thank you again, Chef Moses. And we're looking forward to other cooking classes with you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Have a nice day.
Marie?
And Sister, can you, yes, just endorsing our thanks to Chef Moses for this wonderful class. And we have to take charge of our health. We need, our health is our wealth. So that's very important. So not much more to say. I think you covered it all, Sister Wynn. So you could close in prayers.
More- Yeah. Okay, let us pray. Father God, we just want to thank you for the opportunity that we have where we can gather together, even in this fashion, Lord, to do this, your work. You provided it for us way before we know that we could do it. We thank you for all the people who participated in our weekend, our health ministry weekend. We thank you for our leader, Sister Williams, who, with her insight and her vision, was able to bring this program forward. Thank you again, Lord, for your blessing, and help us, Father, not to lose sight of the message that we receive over the weekend, but help us to put them in practice. I pray in Jesus' name. Bless the presenters and their family too, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you again.
Okay, take care. All the
Next.
best. Bye, Chef Moses.
Bye.
All right, Marie.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi, Sister Will.
Yeah.